to order for Tuesday, January 6, 2026. Item one, roll call.
George Jansen. Here. Tricia Carroll.
Here.
Michael Haydick. Here. Crystal Harlan.
Here.
Jay DuRoss.
Here.
Mark Nislusen. Here.
Item two, election of chair and deputy chair. Any nominations?
I nominate George Jansen for chair.
No, I decline.
Excuse me,
nominate
I didn't
Crystal.
quite hear that, George. I thought you said you.
I nominate Crystal. You decline, right?
Oh, I'll second that one.
Yeah. I guess I'll accept.
Any other motions for chair? All in favor? Those opposed? Congratulations.
You have to switch seats.
Like, not
No.
right this second, right? You're just gonna finish this one out?
Oh, you can, if you want. Okay, deputy chair.
That's not how that works, Crystal.
You
You
Do I have to switch spots? We at least
don't
sit
have to
here?
switch spots.
Okay.
No, okay, but you get to, you're in charge now.
Alright.
Deputy chair. I nominate Mark for deputy chair.
I'll second that.
Any other discussions? All those in favor of Mark as deputy chair?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Chair.
He's just
Okay.
named you.
I didn't hear him say accepted.
Yeah. you
I
just-
heard it. You said it very softly.
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
I thought it.
Your bubble came up.
Review and acceptance of minutes from the December 16th, 2025 meeting.
I've read the minutes and I'll make a motion to approve them.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes as they're written. Any other discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Carried through. Item 4, code enforcement officers report.
Well, we just met a few weeks ago, so it hasn't been that long, but, I've had a meeting with the DOT about this project. Also talked a bit about, the Aroma Joes while we were meeting with them. Seems like things are progressing on that end and things are looking good. We're having a scoping meeting with them, next Tuesday for Aroma Joes. Looks like they are leaning towards not doing a turning lane, which,
Has DOT
right,
okayed one?
DOT does not want the turning lane, it looks like, so,
DOT's road, I guess DOT gets what they want on it.
yeah. So,
I'm not surprised. I mean,
Yeah, never mind.
so, I don't think there's anything else to report.
Are you sure there's nothing else to report?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
we
I
go
was,
on.
I was
Okay.
just gonna say that we've been asked to swap A and B tonight, and we can do that, but
Okay,
when we sign the drawings, assuming you approve it, we'll do that after the meeting, and they'll have to pick them up tomorrow.
okay. Okay, we will swap around the two pieces of business we have to do tonight, and we will take first the subdivision amendment for Wardwell Commercial Development, applicant Robert Wardwell and Sons Incorporated, location 64 State Street, Route 46.
And the surveyor just showed up, so if he comes in, Alan, we're up to you.
Already.
We moved you to the front.
Okay. I guess I got here just in time.
You did.
Thank you, appreciate that. Is Andy here? Right there.
How are you?
Doing all right, how are you?
So I will bring that up. And Alan, will- yes, please.
You already started.
Nope, we haven't done a thing, we're just waiting for you.
Well, about a year ago, it was in August of 24, we came in and got approval to reconfigure lot 6A in the Heritage Park subdivision. And after the approval process, the boundaries of 6A were like that. So it was a fairly large piece. And Cub LLC, which is part of Freshwater Stone, they owned 2 lots right in here. They owned those. The Wardwells still owned the land out around it, and Cub LLC was going to acquire it. But instead of acquiring it, they've leased it since it was approved as part of their lot. They didn't own it. And now the Wardwells want to sell it. They don't want to own it anymore. They don't want to continue the leasing agreement. So Freshwater Stone is looking to acquire this parcel in here now, but they want to hold it under a different company than Cub LLC that owns the other 2 pieces, because it's vacant land and they want to hold it under a separate holding company. Well, in order to do that, we have to apply for another approval to now make this 6A like it used to be.
Mhm.
And this piece in the back will now become 6D. So that's what they're asking for, it's just approval to make this into 6D and that into 6A.
And they're both conforming lots, so
Yes. And they're part of a subdivision that's been, had, as you can see in the title block, numerous amendments have been made to it in the past.
So that approval in August of 24, that was to,
Make the whole thing lot 6A.
gotcha.
Now we want to break it into 6A and 6D.
what was it before? It was all, was it 60?
Well,
or was
There was a 6A
Right.
that Cub Acres owned,
Mhm.
and then the rest of it was just vacant land that the Wardwells owned
Oh.
that was part of lot 6.
And there's no imminent plan by Freshwater to do anything with it.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Have they been the ones leasing it
Yes,
from?
How long have they been leasing it for?
well, since last August or whenever, I don't know just when they completed the paperwork, but it was approved in August of 24. So since then,
It's been a year. A little over a year.
How large, is that 6D lot?
60 is 3.12 acres,
Okay.
6A is 2.2. So it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't see any issue.
All okay on your end?
I don't have a problem.
Anyone care to, make a motion? Either yay or nay?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Anybody wish to second that?
Trish did, but we
Any more discussion needed? Those in favor?
thank you. I see you've got an unrolled copy that I can get signed.
Yeah, we'll sign those after the meeting.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll just stop by tomorrow and pick it up. I'm not
Perfect.
gonna hang around.
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you for moving this up in front. I
No
appreciate it.
problem.
Yep.
All right, so that brings up,
New business, site plan review for Tractor Supply Company, applicant Palm Coast Capital, location 116 US Route 1.
I can bring up to wherever you want me to.
We can start with the PowerPoint if you want. So good evening. My name is Sam Elfranti. I'm a civil engineer with Solely Engineering. Our offices are in Norwood, Mass. And I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Matt Darling. He's the manager of Palm Coast Capital LLC.
Not a big PowerPoint guy, so how do I get full screen?
it's blocked by that.
Thing
It's
up
at the
there.
bottom.
It's usually like shift 5 or something.
F5.
F5.
You weren't wrong.
If you do slideshow up at the top, slideshow. Yeah, I just do from beginning.
There you go. I knew you'd know.
All right.
Does that really work? Gesture.
Is that just on this screen?
It is touchscreen, so.
Oh,
that would
yeah,
work.
no, that works.
All right, there we go. So I'm sure you guys are all familiar where this is located. It's right across from the trading post, right up the road here. So we can go to the next slide. The subject site's about 6.54 acres. It's largely undeveloped. I know the front portion previously had been convenience store, gas station at one point. I think there was some structures for residential too. I don't know if they were rentals or what the case is, but for the last several years, it's been largely vacant. I know the buildings were torn down in the last 5 to 10 years. I will bring up now we've had several environmental tests performed on the site. There are some, there was a couple underground tanks associated with the gasoline pump that was there at one point. So the remediation, it's limited, but there is some towards the front of the property that we'll be working through in conjunction with the rest of the permitting that we're undergoing for this project. You can go to the next slide. We had a full survey performed. This property is a little unique. It does have a 50-foot right-of-way to the rear of the property that actually connects to Broadway and the Park Street development. So that exists. There are some wetlands. There's kind of a intermittent stream in the northern part of the site. And then there's a couple pocket wetlands on the western property line as well as kind of down towards the roadway. The value of the wetlands is very low. A lot of them are really just drainage swale. The one towards the roadway is very much just a drainage swale that's kind of been created through erosion and such. But otherwise, it's upland area. The site slopes up from the roadway to a knob kind of in the center of the site, kind of over here, and then relatively flat and continues to slope up the hillside. We can go to the next slide. So we're proposing to construct a 21,930 square foot building with a 16,950 square foot fenced outdoor display area. This is very much a prototypical Tractor Supply company. The only thing that differs from this Tractor Supply proposal is some of them further south have a live goods center similar to like a garden center at Home Depot or Lowe's. This one does not, just because of the location and the characteristics of the area. So they've determined that it's not part of this proposal, but it has a propane storage for residential propane. So a filling tank inside the outdoor display. And then we have a couple outdoor display along the front sidewalk that will be various things. It's kind of seasonal. In the summer, it'd be grills and charcoal and stuff like that. In the winter, it's salt, shovels, snow blowers, various things. We have 63 parking spaces proposed. We have a 60-foot wide curb cut off US 1, which is a 20-foot entrance lane, a 16-foot mountable island, and then two 12-foot left turn and right turn lanes. As part of the project, we've been corresponding with DOT. We actually had a very good meeting. It might have been last week or the week prior. And they were overall happy with the plan. They had a couple comments that we've since revised and submitted back to you guys. The updated plans, which is shown here. One of the comments was pedestrian connectivity up the driveway. So there is a sidewalk proposed up the driveway and connection there. As part of the project, we're going to be installing or constructing a little bit of a widening. It's going to extend westerly from the Dollar General. There's an existing left turn lane that I think is for Park Street originally was constructed. We're going to be extending that striping to our frontage. And then we have a dedicated left turn lane and 65 feet of queue capacity there. So there's no issues with vehicles turning left or getting out of the travel lane to turn left, I should say. But like I said, 63 parking spaces. We are kind of contending with the topography of the site. So if you want to go to the next slide. Oh, excuse me, I'll stay here, but I'll hold my thought. So this depiction here, I like showing this. This is actually, it's developed for Tractor Supply. It's one of their lease agreement exhibits, but it gives a clear depiction in color of what the different areas of the site are. And we always like to Additionally, just have the board understand kind of what the uses for this are. So I'm going to read them into the record. So it's a retail sales and service within an enclosed building, the outdoor sales and service within the fence display area. The fence varies in height from 8 feet to 16 feet height on the left side, 8 feet on the front. The sidewalk display of merchandise along the building facade, permanent trailer and equipment display area. That's the pink area along the right side of the building. Installation operation of a greenhouse, like I mentioned, this one does not have that currently, but it is something that Track Supply does operate sometimes. So outdoor display and sale, we have a propane, it's 1,000-gallon propane and welding gas, trailers, farm equipment, small vehicles, which include mini bikes, go-karts, ATVs, UTVs sometimes. Internally, we do have a pet grooming and washing service. It's manual. It's not like there's a groomer station there. It's self-service. And then we do have a non-boarding vet services, which it's typically once a month or a scheduled time period. A vet will travel locally and kind of set up shop inside so people can bring their pets for various vaccines or shots or such. And then internal, there's a feed area that houses various animal feed internally to the building. Operations, they're open 7 days a week. Typically, they're open 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. The operations for managers or staff and light is typically an hour before and an hour after. So it's 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Deliveries for this property or this store. So really the driveway and the curb cut was designed to accommodate a WB65, which is a tractor trailer. It's a little bit smaller than a highway tractor trailer. The cab's a little bit shorter. It doesn't have the sleeper cab, and that's how all their deliveries are made. Deliveries are relatively infrequent. They're about once a week. As the store is getting stocked initially, they're a little bit more frequently, but once the store is open, it's about once a week. We can go to,
You know what time that typically is?
it's when the manager is there. It's not after hours or at night or anything like that. And there's no storage of trailers or vehicles being kind of getting there early and like sleeping in the cab or anything like that.
Is it in the morning? The reason for I'm asking is just because of like traffic during the morning.
Yeah.
Buses and those sort of things. We have a lot of stuff happening right around Nicholson. So I was just wondering, are they coming from the Ellsworth direction? Is that typically the path?
I would assume, so when we were looking at this, I would assume they're going to be coming from the south.
Okay.
So they'd be taking a left turn into the property.
Okay.
Just from geographically where the highways are located and where I think they would be.
How long are the trucks? You said it's like 65 feet.
Yeah. So they're about 70 feet in length. It's a tractor trailer.
So that almost will accommodate the whole tractor trailer.
The turning lane?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if he's waiting to turn or she or who's ever driving, that won't impede traffic heading east.
No, I don't believe so. I mean, there is, in addition to the 65 feet of storage, we do have a 165-foot taper lane, which tapers from, I think, 11 feet to back to a travel lane. So there's a little bit additional queuing capacity if there was another car kind of behind it, I think is what you're asking for, right?
Yes, yeah, that would be, I'm thinking, if you have the Friday afternoon delivery in the summer or something like that, I mean, that's probably our highest traffic on, Saturday, Friday in the summer or Sunday, depending upon which way the traffic's going. Everybody's heading to Acadia or Bar Harbor or someplace. If there was a trailer there that was, if that was their regular delivery time, 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, let's say, that could be just in creating already what's bad traffic, make it, worse. But
Understood.
do they schedule? I mean, if they know like on a Friday, would they when they're scheduling their deliveries, do they give a good time for Bucksport would be earlier afternoon or before, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know how they.
Yeah, I truthfully, once the store is open, I'm not sure how the manager kind of operates that.
Okay.
I know it is very manager dependent. And like I said, they don't deliver without the manager there. So I think mean, logically, it would make sense if the manager sees the busiest time of the roadway to schedule it off of that.
All right, that was
yeah.
my question.
But it just was, I was more wondering, is it a certain time?
I think it varies.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it varies.
It was mentioned earlier about a scope meeting with DOT. Did they look at the frequency of deliveries and any timing? What do they cover under their scoping meeting?
I could answer that. So we're in the 100 to 200 new trips per day, or not new trips per day, but trips generated per day, per a peak hour, excuse me. 100 to 200 maximum peak hour trips. I think it's the Saturday midday is our highest generation of trips. So we submitted this all to the DOT. We analyzed the intersection to the west, the signalized intersection with the gas station right there. We analyzed all the crash data along Route 1. And then we also analyzed level of service for our driveway. They were overall, they were satisfied with what we had submitted. They didn't really have any comments regarding that or any improvements to be made in relation to this development.
Did they consider their scoping the deliveries, not just,
That was all included,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so.
I mean, one truck a week is,
Yeah, I did have one question. So just based off this photo up there, is the driveway to the trading post directly across the street now? And because I'm assuming the abutter, I think, bought that other lot so that they used to have a U shape, that lot, that,
It is, you can see the.
yeah.
Yeah, so
So that is trading post
The trading
driveway?
post is
that's
right.
the
I
one
think,
with the gate.
yeah, they have two driveways if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yes,
they
I
only
think-
have one now.
Oh, okay, well,
Yeah, the one with the
I
gate
close.
is the one that's directly across, and that belongs to John Daniels.
Okay.
He's the one that put the gate up.
Okay,
Oh,
all right, that was my question. So that one's the one. All
I
right,
wasn't
so-
aware of that, so.
Yeah.
So we go to the next slide. So this is a 2D rendering. This shows the landscaping that we are proposing with the trees. External to the site, it's kind of a no-mow mix. It's, or seed mix is what we're proposing, which kind of turns into kind of like a knee-high grass that's more natural and kind of provides a little bit of a buffer as opposed to just a lawn area. It's kind of an unmanicured look for the external and the northern part of the site. But if anyone has any questions now for the site plan, I know you guys had a couple with deliveries and stuff, but this is a good plan to talk to and understand. So with the 63 parking space, I will add also these 3 parallel spaces here. They're 40-foot long. So the intent of those is for trucks with trailers. If someone was to load like feed or a wood splitter or something like that, they would have a place to park. All the other parking is standard parking spaces.
So I had a question. So on the application, it's saying that you're gonna do propane, like you had said, the trailers, you're gonna rent trailers.
I don't believe, I think it's just selling trailers,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the only reason I ask that is because if you look at like other locations and what they offer, there's trailer rentals, there's the pet vet, like you had said, there's the propane tanks. But not all of them have the same thing, right? So
Right.
not every location. So my concern would just be the fact that we're kind of double dipping in a lot of other businesses we all already have. And to consider those, such as like the propane, does it have to be here? Is this something that it's like a done deal if you come, or is there things that we could talk about negotiating with some of those things?
I mean, I think these are all permitted uses.
No, I understand that. I just think we have to kind of look at it as like a big picture and other businesses too.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, this is their operations. They're targeting this area because they feel as if having their full operations here will make it economic for them to develop this site.
cause I just,
So-
you know, there's propane tanks in Holden, there's one in Bangor, there's a lot of those same things,
I
Same
interrupt
as
for a
the-
second.
huh?
Just, it's not, we don't get to,
No, I'm just asking if there is I guess I'm not asking the question correctly. When you choose these locations, do you always have to do the same thing, or do you look at like what's the best fit for these areas?
So they do look, that's,
You know, cause some
yeah.
of these are close, they're already,
Yeah,
I guess I'm not asking it right, but
yeah,
hopefully,
so that was kind of what I was mentioning with the live goods center, which is not proposed here.
okay,
That's something that's standard operations in this new prototype that they've rolled out a couple of years ago. But for some reason, they decided that that wasn't, I would assume the climate just doesn't really make too much sense to have that. They would rather have the space for storage as opposed to a live goods center.
okay,
But as part of like the propane and the trailers, that is all part of this proposal for this development.
alright, so but they might, sorry, so on this, it says that there's gonna be that I put a question mark here, cause there's live plants, flowers, shrubs, trees, that's separate than the feed center, or is that the same thing?
Yeah, so the feed center is actually internal. It's this back. Oh, yeah,
was it right there?
it's the orange area. It's loading up. There we go. It's this orange rectangle. It's like 2,050 square feet internal to the building.
Okay,
So that's where they keep all
so
their
that's
feed.
separate than this section here that says live plants, flowers, shrubs,
Correct.
that's separate,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, the feed center is strictly animal and pets, I think.
And then other question was the lease. So you said it was leased, the building is not owned, you said a lease agreement.
So, this is actually, so the client, Palm Coast Capital, he's the applicant.
Mhm.
He's going to take ownership of this project, and then it's a fee development deal back to Tractor Supply. So in the end, Tractor Supply will actually own this property and the approvals of the building.
Okay, and is there anything that would hinder if it, down the road, if Tractor Supply wasn't there, that could hinder something that could go in there, or?
I mean, just the zoning bylaws and the uses. I don't believe so. I mean, one of the things that we've seen, just regionally from a store similar to this with like a large outdoor center, if it does close, let's say it was re-tenanted once the
Yeah.
lease happened or expires and they didn't renew the lease for some reason 10 or 20 years down the road. The fenced outdoor display area could obviously come down and additional parking could be made, or additional building could be added through the permitting process, obviously.
But they don't have any requirements as far as, if Tractor Supply owns it, there's no requirements from them that's gonna change what can happen with the building.
I don't believe, no, I
Okay.
don't believe so.
I have a couple of questions. First of all, if you were involved in putting this package together, you did your work.
Thank you.
Very good, very thorough, and it was quite an assignment over the holidays, thank you. Anyway, I'm probably overlooking it, but there's a couple of questions I just couldn't get answered looking at these maps and everything. On the west side here.
Yep.
The outside portion there that's fenced in.
Mhm.
What is the distance from the edge of that to the property line west?
To the property
Basically
line.
between the pavement and the red line, the border.
It was on one of the maps.
Yeah, can you go back to the site plan?
Did you remember seeing it?
Yeah, I remember seeing it was,
Not enough.
outside the area. I'm just saying it was on, I don't remember the number.
Yeah, so
It was on one of the
From-
maps.
Oops, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's right there.
My kids tremble.
Scroll up a little bit.
Scroll up.
So
Oh,
the
85 feet.
Yeah, the closest point from the property line to the fence is 85 feet.
And what will you be using for a buffer?
Or are you saying like vegetation wise?
Vegetation, trees, whatever?
So on that westerly side, so we meet the town's zoning requirements and buffers. There aren't any vegetation proposed to the west of that curb line. If that's something that you guys felt strongly about to,
Is it forested now?
I mean, the limited disturbance is only gonna be just outside the curb line.
You're not
So
gonna
any
clear-
trees that are between the limited disturbance and the
Stay.
property line are gonna stay.
Okay,
But if you guys wanted to condition or request us to vegetate that westerly curb line, I don't think that would be, I don't think it was a requirement part of the zoning and the buffering and
There's
landscaping.
trees there now though, right?
There are, yeah.
Old growth, very big oaks and ashes that there you can see right through. I mean, I can watch deer. That's my property, the one that has the big yard. You can watch deer for 150 yards in the woods right now. There's no.
This
there's no
property here is
undergrowth
yours?
at all. Oops.
This is you?
15 Nicholson Avenue.
So I think supplementing, if the board wished, some kind of understory tree
Right.
hedge or buffer could be valuable. I don't think that would be an issue at all.
So the folks living there are not gonna step out their back door and have a view of your parking lot or anything like that?
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
All of us. I was out there today. 7 houses. You can see from there. I prefer a fence on the west side and out to the back. Because when those cars come around the back of that building, they're gonna be sweeping everybody's backyard.
My children sleep on the second floor, so we'll be looking right at the lights of the parking lot too.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions I had. So, the fenced-in area, is that gonna stay lit at night, or no, it's all like,
no, all the lights are off within an hour after
okay,
closing.
after,
So
or
it's,
all of them are?
they close at 9, so with, before 10 PM, they'd be off.
Yeah.
They're all timered. And
Okay.
It's interesting that it's open till 9, because all the ones around here close at 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so these are what they request. Once it's
It says
open,
9.
Would it, I know it said that on the thing, but it also said,
it varies.
yeah.
Yeah.
They have a-
So I agree with you, Luke.
Or they, I think they would use the word typically open operates between, whatever time.
Yeah.
I think they use the word typically, so I think that's.
It does vary by location. Being open till 9 here
But-
probably doesn't make too much sense truthfully, so.
I tried to go to the one in Bangor this past week, and it was closed when I got there, and I was disappointed. But it was like 8:10, and I thought, oh, they're open till 9, but they were not. So,
The streets roll up a little earlier here too.
yeah.
So would it be reasonable to ask for a fence of some sort that would give the
Yeah.
neighbors some?
Do you mind flipping back to,
To the site plan or the?
or the rendering is fine. It's in the PowerPoint.
PowerPoint, gotcha, sorry. And that was, if I say beginning, is it gonna
From
start? over?
current slide.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I don't think that would be, if a board, like a fence was requested along the western curb line, that's fine. Vegetation is always supported too, but if you think a fence would be better, we could do that as well, if that's something that the board felt strongly on.
So the same thing's gonna happen in the parking lot too. They're gonna be in there maneuvering around and those lights are just gonna be right through the trees. There's nothing there.
I'm not
There's
sure, I'm not sure a fence is gonna be high enough to block necessarily lighting as much as like trees would, but
You block the headlights, that's
It
what you're
would block-
talking about.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted, that's probably some kind of evergreen.
Yeah,
I mean, because right now, like, it's dark early, so the
Mm.
lights, you'll see the lights, you're trying to put a kid to bed early. So, I don't know what kind of evergreen would be the right, what do you call it, understory, I think?
yeah, we can work with our landscape designer and propose a suitable species and it seems like the kind of the top, call it the top left corner,
Mhm.
as well as this is really the concern. The headlights would be facing south as you're coming down.
I think trees are better acoustical absorber of sound.
I think so as
over
well.
the fence
I
as
think
well.
aesthetically, I
So,
think,
it looks more natural, but I mean, it's certainly open to other solutions. But I mean, a fence, it doesn't really, it's a hard surface, it reflects sound, where trees being soft surface absorb that sound. So that would help mitigate some of whatever, whenever that happens. But
I think that's a good idea. And I agree. I think the vegetation is a better buffer. But certainly if the fence was, you guys felt strongly on that.
yeah, I don't know how we feel strongly yet, but
I think just taking into consideration the neighbors and sound and light pollution would be the best. Whether that's shrubbery or fence, I'm not sure, but
is there anything else you were on a roll there?
I have no other questions.
Actually, I had one, did I mishear this? You're going, like, from what I'm seeing, the crosswalk, the sidewalk is going to be rerouted up a little bit, or is that what it?
No, so what I was referencing is,
I mean,
in the initial submission, we didn't have a pedestrian access up the driveway.
oh, okay.
The DOT requested that we provide connectivity through the pedestrian network that exists.
It seems like a long, like, way to cross right there, you know, you're out in this for quite a bit in like a driveway or almost in the street there where that is positioned right now.
You talking about the crosswalk?
Crosswalk, yeah.
Oh,
If you went to the island, for example, then you've got at least a little bit of, you know, someone comes in crazy or something, you know, you've got a little bit of security, but you're really exposed for quite a while there, but.
Yeah, so that island, or in the original submission, we actually, it was striping, it was yellow striping.
Is it that's
It's a mountable island now.
Okay.
The DOT requested it be mountable surface, but it's, the width, like I mentioned, is really dictated on the delivery trucks and making that right turn maneuver. So that was the restricting factor or constraint for that width and mountable island and such. So we could have accessible lanes for.
you're asking if the island could come out further into the crosswalk.
Yes, so that if you're a pedestrian, like it would you know, I mean, kids walk out to whatever McDonald's or whatever's down there from, right? And then you get people like, and that aren't really paying attention, or they want to like hurry up and get in and beat the traffic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, they're coming out, I'm gonna go now. And there's
I-
somebody that they don't see them. It's,
Yeah.
you see that they're really gonna be exposed out into that street for quite a while.
I hear you there. The DOT didn't raise any concerns, and I mean, the Dollar General driveway, which is basically adjacent to our property, exists much wider, no striping or crosswalk, no ADA curb ramps, limited pedestrian connectivity. So I do think what we're proposing is within industry standards. It's an improvement to, I mean, we're gonna be improving 300 feet of sidewalk along the right of way there. We're gonna have 88 curb ramps, it's gonna be striped. I hear what you're saying about having that protection there. But with the mountable curb for the truck drive deliveries, it's kind of difficult to accommodate both there.
Anyone else on the board have any questions for this gentleman?
I've got a couple of questions.
Help yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
You know what, my first question is, could you speak up a little bit? I left my hearing aids home, and I'm
Sorry.
really struggling to hear you.
I apologize.
And with my partners here.
I
But
apologize.
I've been catching most of it. My questions are more from an engineering standpoint.
Mhm.
This whole site is being graded so that you're kind of sitting in a fishbowl.
Yeah, look, can you go to the next one?
You've got probably 12 feet, 10 or 12 feet bank on the rear side of the property.
Mhm.
And I thought it was kind of unique, the system you're using for getting rid of the surface water, storing it underground, and maintaining all the water within the site, so you're not going out onto the street or not going into an existing sewer drain or storm drain. Everything is self-contained. I'm thinking in a torrential storm, are we completely confident that that underground system has the capacity to retain that and then leach it off gradually?
Yeah, so I can talk to that. So, you're correct on the grading. We have a cut. It's basically, when you look at like the heat map of the earthwork, it's a cut in the center and kind of to the north of the site. We do anticipate hitting bedrock. We've done a pretty substantial geotechnical evaluation here. There's only about 5 feet overburden above the rock there. And then the front portion of the site is going to be a fill condition. We have a retaining wall here. And in that fill condition, like you mentioned, we do have an underground stormwater system. So we have deep sump catch basins with hooded outlets proposed in low spots throughout the parking lot. It's all going to be routed to that system. That system's just over 33,000 cubic feet of volume. So it has been designed for the 100-year storm event. And then, like you mentioned, it's basically going to attenuate the stormwater runoff with some orifices inside the outlet control structure. And that will kind of control the peak rates of runoff. And one of the changes that we did make after speaking with the DOT is originally we had an outlet here, and then we had a couple catch basins along the driveway and an outlet here. Now, realistically, those outlets would have discharged to the grass and then flown to the sidewalk and then to the right of way. the DOT, he recommended that we actually extend, there's 2 catch basins kind of just to the west of our property. He actually recommended that we extend the drainage network. So we install 2 catch basins here. We're installing an under drain along the curb. And then we're gonna connect into that discharge and catch basin. We're gonna install a new catch basin and direct connect into that. That does discharge to the south, I believe on a private property, and then eventually to the river here. But yes, we're reducing peak rates, volumes, and all the storm events required to be analyzed. So to answer your question, yes, we do have a jellyfish filter down gradient of the underground stormwater system, which is required to meet the stormwater regulations. And it's really for phosphorus removal is what the purpose of that water quality unit is.
Thank you.
Yeah, but in general, the drainage network in this area is going to be substantially improved. Right now, the hillside flows to the sidewalk and then to the curb line. We're installing 2 catch basins in the right of way, and then the entire site is going to be captured as well. So.
Do you have other questions?
That's good.
Just that?
Is that loud enough for you, George? Is that loud enough for you? I mean,
Well, it was okay. I heard it all.
And
Okay,
then actually, if you could go to the next one, I can just buzz through the utilities as well. So there's an existing sewer manhole just to the southeast corner of the property. It's in the sidewalk right now. That's where we're going to be connecting into our sewer service. Water is located across the street. So we'll be kind of trenching across there and connecting fire service and domestic service. We have propane in the rear, and then we have electric, and we will serve letters from all utility providers. So we've been in correspondence with them over the last couple months. So.
I did see something in there from the water district. Where's the closest hydrant?
Closest hydrant is, Luke, can you go to the center?
I think I need to get some hook to my glasses.
What?
So the closest hydrant is located basically directly across the
Of course, I
street.
just
Okay.
closed it.
Great.
Apologize. Bring it back up.
I knew there was one on Nicholson because I wasn't sure where that one was.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we did flow tests for the fire service on the one on Nicholson as well as right here.
Okay.
So it's basically directly out front. And as part of the fire service that we have proposed for the building, I think a hydrant is proposed in this island, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. It's one of the, I think it's right here.
Okay.
And it's sprinkler too, right?
Yeah, in the building it's sprinkled. So.
1,500 gallons per minute.
Any other questions for the board? Anything more you would like to add?
No, I think that's, obviously if there's questions from, do you guys have any additional questions or public brings up anything that you'd like me to answer, I certainly can. But I think that summarizes it pretty well. So.
Good, thank you.
Yep.
Luke?
Yeah, I would say ask the public.
Before we begin our process, which can be a little lengthy, I want to open up for public comment. So anyone that wishes to make a public comment, please come up to the podium and identify yourself and
I'm
you
Mike.
have a way.
Hello, I'm Mike Whitten and I live 9 Nicholson Ave, right there right there. And I own a piece of property to the rear of that.
Yeah, that's
Right there, yeah, that's the one. Okay, so, a couple of questions that I had, let's see. We went through everything, we didn't go through the lighting, which I think is pretty important, and, we should be using the IECC 2021 lighting requirements. That's the last one that Maine's accepted.
correct.
So, I didn't see anything about exterior lighting controls as far as shut-offs and dimming. That should be included in this. I didn't see that.
I can speak to that if you.
Yeah.
Or if you want to finish
Yeah.
it.
I'll finish, okay.
Okay.
And then, the other thing is if you go to the lighting plan,
It'll take me a minute, but I can certainly do that.
It's in the PowerPoint as well, Luke.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the next, I think.
It's the next one, yeah.
That's the next one.
There it is. Yep.
Right there, okay. So we have the, you see the squares on the, around the perimeter, which are the lighting poles.
Mhm.
They're 20 feet tall with a 3-foot cement base on them. That makes them 23 feet high. They do have the, in the plan there, they have the full cutoffs and all that, and it drops to zero the lighting drops to zero towards the,
Property line.
property line, thank you. But I still think I'm gonna be sitting down there in my yard, looking at those lights at 23 feet of height. So I'd like to see them shorter. I think the 3K will work, that's the 3,000 for the lighting itself. So that's one thing I'd like to ask for. If we could get that, those poles shortened.
So the poles are with the base, 23 feet tall.
Correct.
And then the other thing you mentioned is about the 3,000 K lumens or?
Yeah, no, that's the 3K, that's the, what do they call it, the color?
Okay.
Yeah, that's,
The
that's
warmth.
warmth, yeah, that's fine. But it would be good if we could get those two things covered. Let's see,
Can I ask a question? Are they that tall to accommodate trucks making corners or?
Yeah, so the, so the answer to your question is yes. And the zoning bylaw, I don't believe restricts, I believe we're well in conformance with the zoning bylaw for height of poles. But yes, the answer to the question is, I mean, if you're looking at where they are located, I mean, that is the truck route. So the truck will circle the site. I think we'd have to figure out exactly.
it may
how tall-
comply,
Yeah.
but the height is gonna be an issue. I'll sit in my backyard and those things are on. I'm
Yeah, and that's.
gonna be seeing the bulbs.
Yeah, and that's one of the things is when you evaluate light, it's not to necessarily say that neighboring properties can't see the light. It's the downspread of the light isn't being exposed past the property line, and that's the regulation. And I do understand where you're coming from. I mean, we could potentially.
I mean, all it requires is more poles.
Yeah.
It's more money for you, but
No,
to
that's.
get the light spread you need.
Yeah, I mean, we could also look at potentially moving, if the concern was the abutting neighbors on the west. Moving some of these into different locations, maybe further from the property to help alleviate that. But yeah, I believe within the regulations, we are in conformance, but I do hear that.
Is that and being a good neighbor. Anyway, so that was that. And we went over the parking lot with the vehicle headlights and the headlights coming around. So, I mean, if they do shrubbery, they do trees and it doesn't work, I'd always like to have a fence because I think that would do a better job of cutoff. Noise is always going to be an issue with the parking lot there. So horns, people beeping their clickers on the cars and everything. But what about the dimming and automatic dimming and automatic cutoffs on the lighting?
So the dimming, I'm not entirely aware of, but the automatic cutoff, like I said, they are on an automatic loop internal to the building.
Right, but I'm talking about like when there's no activity, like a 15-minute no
Oh, so they're
activity, and they dim or shut down.
I don't believe these lights are proposed that way.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
They're not in the plan.
yeah, so I mean, if that was something that the board, I don't believe there's a regulation that requires that.
Well, it's in the code, 2021. Right there. From my daughter, who's an electrical engineer and does this for a living.
Yeah, I mean, the zoning bylaw is a little different than the electrical code, but yeah.
So,
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's something I'd have to look into. I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
But the light is designed to not leave the property boundaries.
Yeah, so they're all of the lights, both building lights as well as the pole lights are all LED, full cutoff, dark sky compliant. That's typically the regulation and requirement and standard you're held
Right.
to with land use development, so.
So if that's correct, you would see possibly the structure, but you shouldn't see the light.
Well, it's the intensity of the light. If you look at it, you'll see the numbers, they come down from this direction.
Yep.
And they go to zero.
Yep.
So that's what they consider that's where it hits the ground.
Right.
That's where it stops. But you can still see the fixture itself and the bulb.
It's sort of like you can see the lights on the bridge. It doesn't illuminate
Yeah.
my house, but you'd still see them,
Right.
right?
So, and that is part of I can give you that if you want it. That's what she sent me. So, and anything else? Oh, runoff and wetlands. Which one was it that you had?
What's that?
I think it was 30, one of these had the,
The
show
drainage, is that what you're looking for?
yeah, no, the wetlands to the,
There's one wetland that's on the west side.
yeah, well, there's actually,
Two. Right, there's
Here,
one there,
here.
yeah, right.
And then closer.
and, well, you can see them on here, but they actually, this is a drainage area right through here.
Mhm.
And it actually, everything comes down through there. And there's just a little, we have problems when it's really wet, spring, and then we have those wet summers. It just floods our yards in the back. So I'm just hoping this doesn't exacerbate it.
I also think do you mind if I say something?
Cool.
I also think when they surveyed, it was like in one of the dry summers we've had in a long time. My yard is the one that's pretty far back there against the land. And there's some vernal, I'm a registered Maine guide, I'm very familiar with flora and fauna and the environmental issues. There's like vernal pools that my kids catch salamanders and frogs in right back there. And I'm wondering how far do you need to be from that? Because that looks very close to that. Just something I thought I'd add in when he's talking about the drainage.
Yeah, and they're actually impinging on it in 2 areas. I think isn't that a variance?
There's, I think, 855 square feet of wetland impact.
Yeah. So,
But in terms of doing delineations in a dry year, for professionals, it's not a big deal for soil.
Yeah.
Figured that. By the looks of that.
all right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and they're blasting, they got that whole mound of big ledge out back there, they'll be blasting that, it sits under this right here. Under right here.
What am I talking about?
Three.
And then there's another one down here, they'll be blasting out.
It was, you know, those ones, they're bigger.
The second
Did you see the blasting plans?
Nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It's all.
Yeah, this one and this one. Sorry.
He was
We
talking
were
about.
talking about
blasting.
blasting?
Blasting.
Yeah,
Is it blasting?
you can't see the ground in this one though.
I can speak to it.
Yeah,
Luke, you go back to, probably the grading plan is probably best. Yeah, that's fine. So the finished floor is proposed at 83. Existing topography out there off the top of my head, I think the highest point is about 95, I believe.
yeah, it's about-
They're like a knob, there's a little knob out here. Like I mentioned, we did a pretty extensive, you can see the borings that we did in the background of this plan. But the overburden in the center portion of the site is about 5 feet. So we do anticipate hitting rock when we do excavate. It's kind of just the nature of developing this site and making it developable. We are kind of constrained with the driveway and the slopes to make that a functional drive up to a developable pad. So to answer your question, yes, we do anticipate
Yeah.
blasting. Yeah.
yeah, so you'll be blasting up there and then down on the front too for the driveway. Because it's outcrop there.
Yeah, right, it's right, I think it's right here.
Yeah, you can see that, yeah.
That's
About all,
anything else?
that's all I have.
Well, thank you very much.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
This is what it's like to stand here, huh? I am Steve Bishop, your state representative, and I serve on the Transportation Committee, where we have had the commissioner of DOT here on this site recently. And during that conversation, where we had the commissioner here taking a look at this scenario, and several other scenarios that may come before you soon in regards to Route 1 and the traffic flow, we've all suffered a lot because of the traffic backup on Route 1 the last several summers. The light has been adjusted currently, but it is in the DOT work plan to be replaced in 2027. So as these businesses come in and the traffic has entrances and exits, and there's concerns about deliveries or anything else that would transpire on Route 1 in the areas that we've had problems, this new traffic light is going to be engineered to sense how far the traffic buildup is. There'll be sensors placed further back on Route 1 that will dump the traffic across the bridges. So we know we're up against a space problem. These roads that we have are old, they're congested, and now we have volume problems. We have more traffic on the road than they were designed and engineered for. So the DOT engineers are coming up with ways to mitigate these problems, and this is just one of them. So as you talk about traffic concerns with the entrance and exit here, by the time this building is completed, up and running, and ready for full business, is going to be about the time that we also have a new traffic light system set up so that we're not going to be dealing with what we've been dealing with. So even with more businesses come before you with this scenario, I'd like you guys to keep that in mind. Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
David Janty, I live on Nicholson Avenue, right there in 15 Nicholson Avenue. And, I'm not anti-business by any means. Like, I think Bucksport could use a place like Tractor Supply. It's just hurting us because we, like, especially me, like, all of us, but I'm a young father, have a young family, made a purchase on a house 10 years ago. And now, definitely worried that our property values are going to go down and it's going to affect our way of life over there. Do you mind going to the photo that had the layout of the Tractor Supply with the landscape in the neighborhood? That one. Yep. So, as I said, there's some pretty good wetlands that come through here. Vernal pools in here that my kids catch salamanders and frogs in. This is an old photo, but I have a trampoline right here. If you were to walk in these woods, about right here, there's a ledge that my kids call Janty Mountain. It's about 20 foot tall, 15 foot tall ledge. So when he says that there's going to be some blasting, I think there's going to be quite a bit of blasting. I'm definitely concerned that while my children are there, there's going to be dynamite, whatever the length of my property line's here. My kids playing here, whatever that length is. Obviously, definitely worried about that. I have an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old, and they play back there all the time. Yeah, so that drainage issue, as I said, I think Tim also lives over there, and our yards will flood in the spring, which is not their fault, but I believe a lot of that water runs from that area, and I'm wondering if they have a mound there, if it'll, what it will do to that drainage area. Let's see. I also noticed that I had a pin removed. I had a pin in this corner here. There was a pin in here, and I noticed just recently it was removed after they surveyed. So I don't know what happened with that. So maybe they can resurvey and tape off so I can know exactly where my property line is. I would love that. And they mentioned the propane and welding tanks. Again, that's and the chances of something like that exploding are probably very small, but like my kids are playing 90 feet, 100 feet from a major holding of propane and welding gases. Mike already spoke about the lighting. We're story of ours. You know, we've over the years made a beautiful backyard where we spend a lot of time in. We have garden, we have bees, we have all kinds of stuff, and we're worried that those lights are going to affect those things. And I know we bought a house right next to a commercial area, but definitely be nice if they took the neighbors into consideration. The noise in the trucks, worried about that. My kids go to bed at 7:30, so if it's going to be open till 8, the lights are going to be on till 9. My kids sleep on the second floor. It's going to be probably lights. We'll be able to see lights in our windows. That's going to be a bummer. And as Mr. Bishop just talked about the traffic, that's great. I hope that it happens in 2027. But as we know in this town, sometimes things take a little longer than we expect. If it's a year, that's still a long time to have traffic, even if it's just the traffic from the builders coming in and out with big trucks and equipment and blasting. And I just think it's going to be kind of a cluster for the schools. The traffic right now, as it is coming in and out of Nichols, sometimes it takes us 10, 15 minutes to turn left. So that's definitely a huge concern for us. And let's see, I think I have some questions here, sorry. What is the distance that a business has to be from a property line? Like, is there a set? He said
25 feet.
25 feet. Okay,
Setback, yeah.
that's the setback. What about from a wetland area? I think it's at 75 feet.
That's not just a vernal pool or that's a shoreline type thing. That's
Okay.
different.
Alright.
So,
Sure. Do you know what it is? There is no setback for wetlands? Oh, really? Okay, all right. All right, yeah, that's, I think that's pretty much it, man. Thanks.
Not to be sorry. What was the, and I apologize if you already said this and I missed it. What was roughly when do you think this is going to be done and opening for business?
So it's the applicant's goal to start construction in the spring or late spring. We're really contingent on the state approvals. We anticipate getting the DOT approval shortly, once we kind of resubmit to them. And then the environmental permits will be following that. So hopefully sometime in April and May, we start construction. It's typically a 26-week construction period. And then there's some time for stocking. There's some time for training and management, kind of assembling to create the track supply team.
Like Christmas time.
Yeah, I think Q4 or Q1 of 27 is the goal.
About a year.
Yeah, plus or minus. Yeah, maybe a little bit longer, but that is the goal. So.
Now, are you familiar with the ledge she's talking about? That
Yeah, very much so.
is that planning? Are you planning on going near there when they're blasting? Is that what's?
Oh,
I guess where I'm trying to go with this is like, if you create this and all of this runs here into their yard.
Yeah.
What's the plan? I don't know how they fix that, so I'm asking you.
If you wanted to go to the grading and drainage, I think.
You're basically in a bowl, what you've created there, so you're not.
Yeah.
You're not creating a hindrance.
Right, so what that's gonna do is actually help
Yeah.
them significantly. I mean, right now, from what you were talking about, there is a swale kind of in this area. We're maybe 30 or 40 feet from that, but a large portion of the hillside drains to that.
Mhm.
So a lot of that water to the north is actually gonna be captured by the development. So the flooding issues that exist, we're certainly not gonna exacerbate the issue. I would think we're gonna help the issue. And we're also kind of carving into that wetland a little bit, about 4 feet. So there is gonna be drainage towards the site. There's no berms proposed that push water external to the development. It's all being contained inside.
So essentially everything, it won't be going this way towards them, it will be going this way towards you.
Towards us, yeah.
And if I'm reading this plan right, the wetlands that are on the top of the property, there's no disturbance anywhere near it.
No.
And anyway, the topography is from the west to the east, so it should drain away from your property.
Right.
Well, that does up there, but
Yeah,
this stuff comes
Luke,
from,
if you could go back to the first,
From-
one of the
from
first slides.
uphill
Yeah.
and to the west.
Yeah, there's an existing condition slide.
Yeah.
The drainage area kind of,
Yeah. there's a-
yeah, everything,
there's a saddle.
everything to the plan west here drains left.
Right.
Plan right kind of drains towards this intermittent stream, which goes that way.
Now, did you guys also get the other lot? Well, it's not the other lot, it's all contained. Did you also get the piece that's up?
Oh,
I
the
would
one
call it
across?
Upper 29, but it's on
Yeah.
the other side of Broadway.
So that is part of the deed.
The part above Broadway is what the town bought.
Yeah.
Okay, so they didn't get, it was all 29, so that was why I was kind of.
Right, no, the town bought that like a year ago.
Yeah,
where
that's
the-
an old map you're looking at online. The town bought that of a lot for the proposed new baseball
Okay.
complex.
Okay,
I thought you were referring to the easement.
well, there is, you
The
own
easements,
that
but there
easement,
was
but that
one.
used to kind of connect them, I think.
Yeah.
That's how they
Yeah.
kept it as one, right? And then.
But
so-
the piece
or
they own goes up to Broadway
Up
and
to
stops.
Broadway.
Any other questions?
Mike, I wasn't being rude on my phone here. I
Oh,
was
I
looking
know.
up your code.
Yeah.
So, well, I want the public to know that, because it looks like I'm just sitting here ignoring you. So I looked up the code here. First of all, it's the energy code. And basically, the first portion says that the building facade and landscape lighting will automatically shut off no later than an hour after business closing, which is what you had said they would do. And then the part after that says lighting that is not controlled in accordance with that section would have to follow these other requirements. So, but it is gonna be following that restriction, so those other things don't apply because they're gonna have them shut off within an hour. But it also says that they have to not be on when there's enough light to provide the light needed without them. So I think there has to be some type of sensor, eye sensor or something to, so that they're not running when they don't need to be. But it's all from an energy standpoint. That's not really, that particular code is not really aimed at helping with, it's all about efficiency is what they're getting at, which isn't necessarily what you're getting at. It's not to downplay what your concerns are.
Right. We would really like it if there was some sort of down dimming of the lights when there's no activity going on. And that's gonna be quite often, especially in the evenings. So,
Driving up and back, that's gonna be just like delivery trucks. That's not really for customers in their trucks
back.
or is.
Yeah, you can drive around back
Well,
there.
you can,
Yeah,
I mean, but that's
If you
not,
could go to the
Sure.
colored plan, sorry.
You're picking up
one way.
stuff from the from the fenced in area.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the one thing I guess I failed to mention when I was explaining the site plan too, these kind of delineated lines, those are painted lines, so they do allow for vehicles to drive through the fence displays so you can easily load stuff onto trailers, trucks, and into cars. I would agree with, I'm not sure who just made the statement, but I mean, this westerly lane is really gonna be utilized for the trucks once a week. I don't envision too many people circling the building. But we're not restricting that either.
I mean, yeah, if it's, I don't know, you would have the data on when you are selling the, probably the stuff that people need to unload and drive around the back. I would tend to think that'd be more in the morning or, the earlier part of the day if I have, I wouldn't like pick a big load of stuff up in my truck
At 8 p.m.
and at 8:00 at night and then drive it, and, work on it then. So I'm trying to anticipate if that's on some sensor, that it may not be as, I mean, it could be mitigated is what I'm trying to suggest.
Talking about brightness,
No, just, I mean, if it's on a sensor, like,
on and off.
yeah, it's like we have in, I don't know, at least in the schools, you walk out of the classroom, the light shuts off. You walk in, it automatically goes on, then it shuts off after like 5 minutes of nobody moving or something. So, but that could all be timed, so if you, could that not be done, like the same sort of, I know
don't-
you see, you walk past the
Yeah.
freezer in Hannaford, the lights come on,
Yeah, I
and then
don't,
they shut off after a while.
I'm not an electrical engineer, but I don't see why that wouldn't be feasible. And I do agree that the peak hours for customers are not 7 PM or 8 PM. It's 4 to 5 PM in the afternoon, and then in Saturday, I think it's 12 to 3. So it's not when it's dark.
Or at least during.
So if it's feasible, I don't think that'd be an issue. I can't say with certainty if it is feasible. I know the technology exists for
Right.
internal lighting. I don't know if I've seen external lighting like that, but,
Do they sell something that dims down when there's not, and then, you know?
I'm sure that, I mean, there's definitely, different light fixtures. I'd have to look into it and get back to you guys on that.
Excuse me, so Sam, the company that you work for, must have an electrical engineer?
Yeah, I certainly,
Absolutely, so you could make all these people on that street happy if you would check with your electrical engineer and say, hey, those lights on the westerly side,
yeah,
we would be really good neighbors to them if we could fix those lights to dim, and if we put up a big fence, and then those people would be happy and we'd be good neighbors and everybody would be.
yeah, I just said I
I mean,
would
that's
look
our
into it.
concern.
Yeah.
Our concern is noise and lights, and we're a row of houses with young children, and that's our concern, that's all we're asking.
We appreciate that. You will, we'll take a look at that.
Yeah, I can look into it. I don't think that's an issue. Like from a cost perspective, there's not an issue between dimmed lights and I wouldn't think, but I can get confirmation on that. I would like clarity on the fence or vegetation. Truthfully, I've seen, some of these developments where a 6-foot fence is installed to block lighting, and truthfully, I think the vegetated buffer looks better aesthetically, especially as a neighbor, but if the board felt, like I said, strongly either way,
I mean, you know, the idea of like headlights coming around, you know, going through your bedroom while you're sleeping, if you have to go to bed early. Depends upon the vegetation. I mean, it would have to be some sort of, you know, shrub that's, or probably a shrub, I'm guessing.
yeah, it'd be some sort of understory tree, like an evergreen or,
Right,
yeah.
that would be thick enough to block headlights as people are driving around the building.
Right.
So not that, I mean, I don't know. It is, I mean,
I hope we don't have to wait 3 years for them to grow tall enough to do their job.
well, no, I'm trying to, you know, we want to make people happy here,
That's
so.
what I would say.
Yeah, and truthfully, while I hear the concerns, no matter what screening or buffering, there's gonna be some visibility. I mean, the fence that's proposed is 16 foot high, the building is 23 feet high or 24 feet high.
Yeah, we're not,
So-
we're gonna see the building.
Yeah.
But I was more concerned if you had like an 8-footer or a 10-footer on the perimeter that had slats in it, you know, like you're gonna have a fence up anyway, right?
Yeah, so there's a fence along
Right.
the display area, yeah.
Yeah,
So
well,
I'd be duplicating the fence.
but not on
yes.
the boundary, not on your line, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, something with slats in it, you know, that blocks the light, and then you could plant trees in there, that would be nice.
So both, is it both?
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying to be greedy, but honestly, like, both would be the best thing for my kids to not run over there, and also, you know, or a dog, like, some of us have dogs, like, obviously we keep on a leash, but
So,
stuff happens.
so you also prefer fence?
Both, I think both.
Both, okay.
I mean,
I say both.
they're taking down all the trees, they might as well put something there.
Should be, you know,
Yeah, they're taking out a
to
lot
really
of
block it
trees.
all.
Well, I think we have to consider the fact that you're willing to look into that as, you know, as a good neighbor. I mean, I think that that's nice of a big business to consider doing that. So, I don't know what's the best thing to do, buffering noise and light. I
Truthfully,
would say shrubbery, we probably, but are you gonna put in a small shrub or are you gonna put in a full grown shrub? Are we talking, I guess,
I mean, it'd probably be
fence, and the
4
fence
feet
is
or
like
5
right
feet when
now?
it's
Yeah.
installed, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, noise is a non-issue, really. I mean, this is a commercially zoned property.
Right.
We're proposing a pretty modest retail business here.
Yeah.
The hours of operation are well within
normal retail operation that exists on Route 1. So it's unfortunate that the residents abut a commercially zoned property, but
I've never seen one of these next to a residential area, not in Maine anyway.
Belfast, Bangor,
Bangor has one.
and we'll keep naming them.
Well, Belfast is hidden out in the woods.
Belfast was in my backyard, so I know where it
What do we
was.
wanna do for, do we wanna
Really?
suggest this, shrubbery or fence or whatever, how do we?
I mean, I can work with, if the board would open to, I could work with staff to kind of come to a resolution on the buffering as a condition of approval. We're well in agreement that we can install something there.
And the company has been, the company being his firm,
Yeah.
has been terrific to work with. When we've had other concerns, they've jumped right on it, so.
You'd be comfortable about this issue?
Does the board not have any concerns about the dynamite blasting right next to our houses? Is that not, I don't know anything about it, like, I'm not asking that in a sarcastic way, like, I know nothing about it, but it seems scary as a father and having that very, very close to a property line where my kids go. Is that something?
I know next to nothing about blasting,
Okay.
but I do know that those people have to jump through so many hoops,
Okay.
so many rules, so many ordinances, that
I would say the safety.
I
would be
would
their
think it
number
would be
one
minimal,
concern.
extreme minimal.
They're typically, it's under big weighted, heavy blankets that keep anything
So
from
you guys
flying out.
Wouldn't
and
be concerned if it was your kids.
Well, I definitely would be concerned if it was my kids, I'm just saying, I don't know about safety with
I wasn't
blasting.
trying to be rude, I'm just.
No, I understand, but I would definitely feel, I understand as a parent where you're coming from, I'm just saying that I think anybody doing that sort of business would make sure that safety is their number one concern.
I'm fairly certain you'd be notified when it was gonna be happening.
Right, I was gonna say.
Yeah, so that
There's
that is
no
one
fault in
thing
there.
that I will say, so state and federal regulations I don't believe require a butter notification, but it does require fire marshal notification as well as the building department, I believe.
Yeah.
So that is something, if you are concerned about that, I would let the town officials know.
We would let you know,
Yeah,
because
so-
it's happened before with
Yeah.
Whole Oceans and other places that we're gonna do it, and we've notified the people, hey, this is gonna happen this weekend.
Yeah, because that does happen sometimes. They follow the protocol, but then the abutters don't actually know, so.
You'd have to blast, I can cast a fishing pole to it. From my.
If the board remembers, we did blast on 27 Main Street, with houses and businesses across the way. So there is notice that's given to the fire station as well as to the public safety. You can't get more closer to anything with blasting than 27 Main Street. The town office is here, kids were living next door, so yes. And I'd like to echo what Luke said with Sam and Jerry, Rich Rotella, Community and Economic Development Director for the town. 32 Woodland Heights also. We've had a pre-scope meeting and a scoping meeting. The police chief was in attendance, myself, the town manager, the public works director, code enforcement officer, the crew, as well as DOT, and every obstacle that we saw reading the Facebook comments or people putting in emails to us, we replied to Sam and crew, and they've made a lot of the changes immediately, and then most recently on here, took care of the rest of the concerns, including the sidewalk into the property, as well as across the way, and relocating the water runoff as well. My concern with putting a fence up on that side of the property is the wetlands up there. Do we really want to disturb wetlands to put a fence that's going to block a zero light barrier? The best thing that would be done for nature would be to put 4 to 6 foot evergreens to help block the sound, block what possible could be headlights that are going on, which would make everyone happy. Because when you put a fence there and something happens to the fence, if 10, 20 years down the line, the property becomes vacant, who's going to maintain that fence? And then the neighbors are going to have a real problem. Whereas if you put the vegetation there, trees grow, maintain them, but you need to buy them mature, sort of like what we did for the property when we redid the wall on US Route 1. The trees that were there were dead. We put brand new ones on there to satisfy the project for the night light and noise for the people who lived at that property.
Well, on the other hand, I mean, they're impinging on the wetlands, you know, they're taking some of it. So what's wrong with putting a fence through there?
Well, because his kids go in and play in the wetlands area. They go to the vernal pool with the salamanders and stuff. He put a fence there, now they can do that. So that's one.
Put it on this side,
Yeah, the fence would be on the, wouldn't be on that side, that would be on the opposite.
not on the property line side, it would be up against the road.
So you're saying, put it right here,
On the highs.
not right there.
Yeah, right on the property
Yeah.
line.
If you do the fence, then you don't have to do the vegetation because the fence will block the vegetation. Personally, if it was me, I'd want the vegetation, but that's what I would think.
Yeah,
I don't, I think before we go down that road,
Avenue, come over and then you can take a walk and let me know what you think.
we should really understand.
I don't know, I'm not.
What, we should try to understand what it is we're trying to block. I mean, you could suggest 8-foot, 10-foot, 60-foot high fence. What's the objective? What do you want to hide? And another thing is that about noise attenuation, numerous studies by Federal Highways Administration said that buffers of trees, or the reduction of noise is negligible. They've studied 100 feet wide buffers along highways, and still negligible reduction of decibels. So if we were thinking that, that's not gonna happen. You won't have noise reduction.
Yeah,
But again,
like I
I think you
mentioned,
said it,
yeah.
you're not generating a lot of noise. It's not like there's constant hammering or beeping going off. So noise is like no different than McDonald's or the hardware stores.
Yeah, and I think the
And I
idea,
think you gotta remember too, sorry to interrupt you, is that we can, the code is allowing certain things, so anything above that, they're doing to be neighborly. We don't have any control if they did nothing at all because it's not in the code. So the fact that they're looking into it and they're going to do those things that is a positive thing, you know? I mean, I am listening to you, we're hearing you, but there's only certain things that we can do. And remembering that they are willing to work with you guys. We want to keep that open.
You were gonna say, sorry.
I apologize.
no,
for
I
interrupting
was
you.
gonna reiterate kind of the noise that I mentioned and it was kind of meant, I'm not sure who just mentioned it, but if the fence was something that you guys felt strongly on based on a butter comments, truthfully, I don't think it's
think we should,
it's not gonna do too much from a visibility standpoint, but
I think we should look at our options.
Yeah.
And look at the data on which will work better and.
Yeah.
And figure it out rather than try and negotiate it tonight. I don't think we're gonna get anywhere.
yeah, that works.
I trust that you guys will keep your word and work with me on that and,
But again, you should understand what objective you're trying to achieve.
exactly.
Because if you go out there and you put up a 10-foot high fence, but it still shows the light post and everything else, then what's the point?
I'm worried about the lights from vehicles.
Okay. So that could be a very
Grab my
low fence.
charger out of the,
So that's really.
it's in my bag.
That could be a very low fence then, if you're just trying to block vehicle lights.
Yeah, and the topography, we are, like I mentioned, cutting into that. So, I mean, headlights are typically 3
Right.
feet, off the ground trucks are 4.5. So, if that's the concern, then, yeah, I mean,
Some of it will already be handled, is what you're saying. just
with the
based off
topography,
of
but,
that.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
yeah.
Is there some way to affix on each fixture behind the light, a
A shield,
small
yes.
board of some sort so they can't see the fixture?
Yeah, there are shields that we could install on
Well, the
the,
light's gonna be going down, but you don't see the fixture.
yeah, that's a great,
Oh.
Not nothing.
solution. There are shields.
Like put an umbrella behind it or something.
Yep, those exist.
In my, oh, sorry, my bag. Sorry, Richie, thank you.
Anything else before we drag you up here again? Is there anyone else in the public that would like to make a comment?
Especially if
To
it's
us?
something we haven't discussed.
Something,
I
yeah,
don't mean that in a rude way. I mean, is there something we haven't covered? Hi, everybody. Max Corwin, 18 Bagley. My question is, what do you do with the snow? And at what point does that 2-lane road become a 1-lane or a 1-way, I guess?
Yeah, and I wondered if we, I guess we're here. I wondered if we put a fence up, if that would, hinder the snow removal too.
Yeah, that was just my.
What I read in the plans was that was put there so they can bring a garbage truck, trash truck in around the corner, back up and grab the dumpster and then go back out. So, and then it turns into one way after that.
Yeah, the one-way is really on the western side, and it's, that whole drive is really, the reason why it's there is for loading, just so we can circulate the.
How wide is it?
It's 24 feet wide, the pavement is 24 feet, the
That's
drive
just for
aisle,
one-way traffic.
the drive aisle is 20, so
Okay.
we striped it 4 feet.
Well, that'll give you some room for snow bay.
Yeah, there's ample landscaped areas too. But yeah.
Okay. Anybody else care to comment? This is very good. We're getting more comments. Last chance, any more comments from the public before we start on our business? Seeing none, I will end the public comment section. Okay, folks, we went through one of these a couple weeks ago, and I think it worked quite well by just going through it, hashing things over, and then going back and making our votes. And I think we would agree that really cuts down the time that it takes us to do all this. So,
We're gonna decide which of the standards are applicable.
that is correct. Environmental standards. Environmental objectives that must be met. Soils, applicable, not applicable,
Yes,
definitely applicable.
Yep.
Stormwater runoff,
yep. they have
Definitely.
similar plan.
Definitely.
soil that may be exposed during any soil disturbance activity.
They have a version plan.
Silly thing.
Surface and subsurface waters are adequately protected. The ambient air environment is adequately protected from the detrimental effects of any air pollutant from the land use. I hope you won't be generating an awful lot of pollutants.
I'd almost say that's NA because
Yeah.
you're not.
I would agree it's not NA, but I think it would be so minimal.
Yeah,
Significant wildlife habitat and other important habitat as identified in the Bucksport Comprehensive Plan as adopted are adequately protected.
not applicable.
Vegetation within any applicable shoreland district is protected from excessive cutting or removal. NA. Okay, we move on. Special area standards. Areas of prehistorical and historical importance are adequately protected from any relevant detrimental effect of the land use.
Did you contact the State Historic Preservation Office for this property, look for any known mapped artifacts?
It's not mapped as one, I didn't make direct contact.
But there's GIS.
Yeah, it's not mapped
Okay.
as a historical.
Thank you.
Yeah.
NA.
I think that whole section's NA, right?
Vistas of scenic value. NA. Areas for public access to water bodies. NA. Areas of flood hazard are adequately protected from any relevant detrimental effect of the land use.
I would say not.
Unless it's mapped as flood zone, right?
Yes.
It's NA.
Something, whatever that is.
Areas of flood hazard are adequately protected from any relevant detrimental effect of the land use.
Not applicable.
Areas with unique natural character identified in the Bucksport Comprehensive Plan as adopted are adequately protected.
No.
Okay, local area objectives that must be met. The scale and site features of the land use are consistent with the development patterns in the local area or neighborhood. Is it zone commercial?
It is zone commercial.
The land use is appropriately separated and shielded from abutting land uses in public or private ways to adequately mitigate any relevant detrimental effect. And that's something that's gonna be ongoing, that you'll be working
I mean,
with.
do we want to we don't want to specify all the details. I think we need to get more information about the lighting and the kind of buffer.
I think we
So-
want to leave that to.
do you know, I mean, do we have enough information to?
Well, I think we have the information on the lighting, it's already been mapped out how far the lighting would go.
Okay,
It's,
but it is like, he talked about light shields, for example.
Right.
When do we put that, like, I mean,
It could be a condition that I put on the permit.
right, or
Do we-
condition of approval, right?
I mean, do we want to do that here at this moment? Make our list?
Ken,
I mean, so, for example, the lighting shields
Yeah, I think that's adequate.
would be something.
I think it'd just be, if we could specify just the western,
Mhm.
I don't think it's needed throughout the
So-
whole property, but.
And it's going to be a chain link around the property edge, is that?
no, chain
No.
link fence?
No, I think they were
It's just a
looking for
house.
like a solid,
Okay, solid fence.
or slats or.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, how high is that going to be? I don't recall in the.
We haven't
You're talking about the
decided.
one that's already going in?
Yes.
That
Oh,
one's-
excuse
that
me,
one's-
sorry, the fence on the outdoor display
16?
Oh,
is 16 feet in height, and
Okay.
then the front is 8 feet.
okay, all right.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the buffer screen.
Yeah, no.
Any relevant detrimental effects of electromagnetic fields from the land use?
No.
Any relevant detrimental effects of artificial lighting from the land use are adequately mitigated?
It appears that way.
Sounds like
appears
we're
that
going to
way.
make that.
Okay, I mean, this is, I don't wanna like skim over this and, have people upset, that's all. I mean, I don't wanna just rush through it and then, have it be forgotten or, that, at that point. Something to the effect of light mitigation efforts or some, I mean,
Well, I put down add lighting shields.
and,
He did that one too.
As far
Yeah,
as the,
Well, we'll just approve this one with the notification that buffering and lighting is being studied or something of that nature. A conditional
Well,
of
that,
this thing.
That you can make, can't you? You can make it, as opposed to the board making it. You can make that.
right, I mean, something general like light mitigation
Yeah.
efforts, which could be vegetation, could be fencing, could be a combination or something, but with the intent that we will, that we are requesting some, light mitigation on the western.
what do you mean by light mitigation?
Like the headlights or any,
Okay.
right, and I mean, I don't think we can say it's gonna be a 8-foot fence right now. Like, I don't think we have enough information, right? But, we're gonna,
So
just.
you're talking strictly about the headlights, not.
Could be headlights, I mean, I think the lighting shields will help. And then,
How will the lighting shields help? That's what I don't understand.
so you won't see the fixtures from the backside.
so the light can go backwards.
So just-
But I thought there were designs, you had
They are.
mapping.
So and similar to the example which is actually a great example regarding the bridge light.
Yeah.
Like if there was a shield on the bridge lights facing this, you wouldn't see the fixture.
Right.
I can see it from here.
Right.
That's their concern, is seeing the
Right. So-
actual fixture.
Blocking the device, not necessarily attenuating light.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
I understand. Thank you.
We all set on that one?
Yep.
Okay.
Any relevant detrimental effects of noise from the land use?
Not applicable.
George has spoken.
Any relevant detrimental effects of nuisance odors from the land use?
No.
I was,
No.
I don't think they're gonna be.
the solar gain utilized by active or passive solar energy collection systems that may be impacted by the land use is adequately protected. Will there be any solar energy collection?
No.
Okay. Any relevant detrimental effects of smoke and dust from the land use are adequately mitigated?
Not applicable.
Other than during construction.
Right.
Right.
Any relevant detrimental effects of subterranean vibration from the land use are adequately mitigated?
Well,
I guess that will come down to when they're building.
That
Yeah,
will
I
come
mean,
down
they're
when
blasting.
doing the blasting, I guess.
but they'll be mitigated, right? That's,
Yes,
yeah, right. So that's fine.
for our purpose, it will be mitigated. it needs to be mitigated, right?
Right, but it will be, I saw their work plan, I'd say,
Yes.
yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay. Public safety objectives. The quantity and quality of public and private drinking water supplies are adequately protected.
Yes.
The safety and sufficiency of energy supply services are adequately protected from any relevant detrimental effects. Public safety services are adequately protected from any relevant detrimental effects. Public wastewater facilities are adequately protected from any relevant detrimental effects.
Yeah.
The proper management of solid waste is adequately protected from any relevant detrimental effects. The safety and sufficiency of streets and sidewalks are adequately protected from any relevant detrimental effects.
Sounds like they're improving them, so.
That's it.
And that is it, folks. And now we begin our second phase where we will vote on each one of these.
Did you write them down?
Yeah.
A couple more specific use standards and dimensions. We can say not applicable on them.
What is that, George?
He's saying there's a
Specific
couple
use
more
standards and dimensions.
Okay,
Geez, I guess I found it.
Oh, yeah.
Page are you on? 7.
yeah,
The dimensions and the specific use standards,
Okay, yeah, I would say all those are NA.
but they're all NA. It's just that we need to go.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Next page,
that's it.
back up the page. Back the page. Oh, no, no. You're missing the
Six,
summary.
number 6, right?
Your thumb isn't working right.
3, 4, what page number?
6, right?
It's the, next to the last.
Page number 6?
Specific use standards.
Is one of the standards. And it's really not applicable.
Right.
But we have to go through that anyway. Right?
The specific use standards.
Hey, you're
Oh,
missing
Yes,
it.
eventually we'll have to vote on it.
You got it.
Got it.
So,
Yeah, we've already NA'd that.
Okay.
Okay, have I missed anything, folks?
no, thanks to George.
Thank you, George.
What?
Okay, environmental standards. Again, I need someone to make a motion after this, either yay or nay. But we have to make motions of these, so don't sit back and wait for someone else to make a motion. If you feel either yay or nay,
Ready?
go ahead and do your voting, okay?
I'll make a motion.
All right.
Environmental objectives. Is there clear and convincing evidence in the record to support the conclusion that the above applicable environmental objectives have been met?
Yes.
Everybody,
We're doing a show of
Making a
hands
motion?
motion?
Make the
No,
motion.
he moved.
second.
So did you
Now
make
we
the
vote.
motion that the objectives have been met?
Yeah, he jumped in there.
And it was seconded?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
George.
George
Okay,
did.
those in favor? George? Okay, thank you. Okay, special area standards. Is there clear and convincing evidence in the record to support the conclusion that the above applicable special areas objectives have been met?
I had those all.
Majority of those were NA.
Yeah, this is not applicable.
Local area standards. Page 4.
Okay, local area standards. Is there clear and convincing evidence in the record to support the conclusion that the above applicable local area objectives have been met?
So we have some
Some conditions.
conditions that we need to have.
So your motion is that they have been met with conditions?
Correct. Almost
Okay,
in that.
anybody wish to second that?
I'll second.
Well, do you want to specify what the conditions are?
didn't you say that that was for the
Shield,
shield
lights,
and then they were gonna do,
fencing of plantings.
But it should be written in a way, it's not absolute, like you must install 6-foot high fence, but
Looking into blocking
Uh,
headlights.
Lighting shields,
I guess specifically is what
that addressed, isn't it?
light pollution remediation, I don't know, however you wanna say
I
it.
think that's exactly, that's what, I know exactly what you mean.
Right, I mean, it's contingent upon that.
Yeah.
I don't think our local area standards include that.
Right.
Actually,
well, that's why I was suggesting, what is the measurement of success of this condition? Is it 100% blocking of headlights, migrating it off the property? Or is it,
To do everything that we can feasibly to make our neighbors happy.
Right, that's, I mean, within reason, I mean, other than, I mean,
Anything wild.
well, everything you said is subjective.
Well, I said,
Right.
I mean,
It should be an objective standard, like, if you don't want to be able to see the fixture, you don't want to, no fixtures will be visible.
but we could amend, like, this as we go forward and, when we look at whatever the code is, or, I mean, those things can be changed. I don't know, right?
did you say only on the westerly side?
Yes.
It's only on.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree to like following just objective standards. But sometimes not the standard to address the situation that arises. So, I think it's good to have a little bit of flexibility.
Yeah, you can, but if his version of success doesn't meet his version of success, you got a problem.
Mhm.
So if you have
I can only do so much, but I'll do what I can.
right, so let's say there's a product out there, like you mentioned, it's like a picket fence, it's more like a hurricane fence, there's every slot, not every other slot. You can always say, that's the most that will be done to attenuate the lights from the headlights going off property.
That's like, do we have that information to write that in this particular document at this time?
Well, you could say,
I think we could.
100% attenuation of headlights leaving the property is the only acceptable standard. That's one way to write it, but that's kind of a pretty hardcore standard.
Yeah.
You could say 50% reduction, or something between.
I mean, but to get the data to make that like, well, that's 10 cars went by and only five of them were too high above the fence, or,
Well, look at that. There's data-driven decision-making versus subjective, his version versus his version, versus somebody else's version. That's very subjective, how do you determine whose version is right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta think of a way to say it, so that we can be met, this can be met with success. You can set a minimum standard, 50% reduction on light. That's one way to do it. Or you could say, put up a hurricane fence and call it good.
You can be very specific or be a little bit flexible.
Because ultimately then enforcement's on you.
Mhm.
If they start calling saying, we're seeing a lot of lights coming through after, fence was put up. All right, what can you do about it? Or if we establish a condition, that's it.
I think we should put our trust in you guys that you'll do your best to do your job, just like, as you said, they don't have to do anything, but they're
Right.
giving their goodwill to do it. I mean, I think the 3 of us, I think 4 of us that are here, I mean, we want you guys to just do the best you can.
I think the engineers that work with this stuff, they can see what the levels are, where the houses are, where the lights are,
Yeah,
the heights. If they can do a half decent job of putting something up.
I wouldn't feel too comfortable putting values to it.
Right.
No.
Personally, but I think if the condition was open-ended, that the applicant will work with staff to install fencing and screening to mitigate the light pollution. They,
Okay.
I know it's somewhat open-ended, but
Yeah.
I do hear your concern if
Yeah.
down the line, they or someone else buys the house and sees the lights, it.
We don't
matter, you, somebody else would be mad at
Valid point. Comes with the job.
Okay, so can you make that into a motion? Yea or nay?
All right, so Luke's got some language, we'll
I
stick
think the
with that.
language that he just used was,
It was perfect. It
was
was
perfect. He's
Yeah.
saying that they're going to,
Work with
I
staff.
mean, again, like, you can also say, like, you don't even know what the pollution is right now because
Right.
it's not there. So you could say that
So-
you're gonna do this and then, you know, that's not enough, 50%, you know.
Right.
There might not even be a need for a fence by the time they start doing their fishbowl thing is what everybody's calling it.
And then
So
again,
I-
they're eight, so, you know.
So, right, so I think by what
Awesome.
the verbiage that you use, and I think is.
Yeah, I think the applicant will work with staff to
Yeah.
install and propose a fencing or vegetative screening to create buffering to mitigate
What
light
is the
pollution.
detrimental effect on the adjoining property?
Hmm.
Lighting isn't a detrimental effect to it might be to the person that's looking at it, but it's not to the property itself.
I think we're getting too far into the weeds. I think
Hey,
just,
I think you're not wrong on that.
So we've got the verbiage.
So,
Well,
Okay.
could you read what you have, just, and then,
I just put that we're gonna look at blocking headlights from neighbors, and do what we can to mitigate light pollution. So, I mean, once they start getting elevations out there and stuff, and I'm sure you'll be on site from time to time, and we can look at it and figure some stuff out, but.
yeah, I mean, if we're gonna vote at this time, I think that that's maybe we're putting the intent in there and without specifics and measuring heights and lumens and whatever, I don't know. I mean, we could collect a lot of data, but we can't do that now. So, anyway.
I thought you were on your way to making some kind of a motion.
I'm sorry.
You were sounding so good too, man.
Are we good with the way it's written?
fine.
Like, as Luke,
The way it is right now, if we motion it, it's the way Luke has it written.
oh, okay, with Luke's addendum to the language.
Yeah,
He provides the verbiage for the condition on approval.
I mean, we agree on the concept, but we just don't want it to get lost in the weeds, you know, a year from now, be back here with complaints. I mean, I don't think we will be. I hope.
So, is there clear and convincing evidence in the record to support the conclusion that the above applicable local area objectives have been met?
it's conditional on that, but yes,
Is that a motion?
yes.
Call that a motion, please.
Everybody understand what this motion is?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't hear it.
Are you
Gotta
serious?
Speak up, please.
Tell him the condition.
The condition is that,
I can't hear you either.
the condition is that I work with the engineering firm to come up with a solution to do what we can to mitigate the light pollution.
So it's a conditional approval.
Correct. Assuming you vote yes.
Was there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, motions, do we need to discuss this anymore, ladies?
No.
Those in favor? Public safety standards. Is there clear and convincing evidence in the record to support the conclusion that the above applicable public safety objectives have been met?
Which ones did we say yes on?
I had all NAs.
I thought these were all NA.
Yeah, this is not
Public
applicable.
safety?
Yeah.
I had yes on everything.
Yeah. I had yes on everything.
Which one?
Public safety standards.
The only thing is like the
There wasn't.
sidewalk, but I mean, that's nothing, I mean, it's not applicable.
Did anybody move?
Well, it's not applicable, so,
Motion has not been made yet.
because it's not applicable.
It's not
Right,
applicable, so
nothing
you
was
don't have to, right?
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying.
But that was our findings, so I don't think we need to do anything other than
Well, anyway.
dismiss it.
What? What did George say?
I think he wanted to know if we needed to make a motion on a non-applicable item. I weren't.
I disagree. I think that these are applicable.
Okay,
Well, when we went through, I've got yes on every one of them.
Oh, I thought you said not, I thought we had.
That was the
I've
next
got,
one.
I've got yes on every one of those. So have the applicable standards been met?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong page.
And a second? Everyone knows exactly what we're voting on.
Yeah,
All those
now-
in favor?
Now we're on public safety standards.
Okay,
Specific use standards.
that's not.
Wait a
that's-
minute. Slow down, just 1 second.
We did, yes.
We didn't all vote. I didn't even hear you say that,
On the
so.
public safety one?
Yeah.
This is
I heard
what
you
we've been talking
second.
about for the last.
I know, I heard you
Only
second
two
it.
people voted.
You seconded it, and then we just went on to the next
Oh,
thing.
I haven't gone on to the next one yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Are you clear on the public safety one?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Specific uses standards.
We
Is there
didn't-
clear?
No,
We did vote.
we seconded
All
it,
right.
but we didn't all.
What's the vote on public safety standards?
All
All
vote.
those in favor?
Yeah.
Thank you.
There it is.
There it is.
I was like, wait a minute.
It carries for a
Oh,
second.
man.
Past your bedtime.
Okay.
Jeez, like, this is why I'm not chair anymore.
Not at all. I love it. Specific uses standards,
That one's
not-
not
This one was-
applicable.
That was the.
Yeah.
non-applicable. Okay, this is the biggie, folks. Is there clear, convincing evidence in the record to support the conclusion that the above applicable dimensions objective has been met?
I had all of
That's-
NA.
That's all non-applicable.
That's non-applicable.
Last page.
That's it.
Okay, based on the conclusions of the planning board, as documented above, the proposed land use, A, will not have any impact or will have an impact if it's contrary to the purposes.
Not having done that.
Good.
So therefore,
Right. So
you approve this.
Right.
I guess your motion is to approve this.
I'll make a motion.
I'll
Okay,
second.
a second. Any more discussion on this? Those that are in favor of this motion?
Aye.
The site plan has been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was painful.
It's like herding cats.
That was more fun than I thought it was.
Yeah, that was fun. Okay, moving on. Item 7, administrative business. There is none. Number 8, limited public forum. An opportunity for the public to address the board on matters related to land use or planning in the town of Bucksport.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys, we're still meeting.
Guys,
It's the gavel.
thanks for doing with the gavel.
Item 8, limited public forum. An opportunity for the public to address the board on matters related to land use or planning in the town of Bucksport,
Okay.
other than what we just went through. Anything at all, folks? Anything at all about land use? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 9, discussion. Do we have anything that we need to discuss more?
Well, just one thing here. I have kind of recruited Max here to fill one of our vacant seats. He lives in town site. And so,
Okay,
and he's
7
completed.
or 8 applications right now.
So,
So,
Including Mrs. Wardwell?
including Mrs. Wardwell and Max, so,
And they're
it's up to
here.
the council. So
so I think
it's
that,
not up to me.
I know, but if you have.
Put a word in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that actually, that are here
Yeah.
that are interested.
For sure.
After, so I just kind of a question, after seeing what these, it's normally a little bit more streamlined. This was a very large project, just, they're not all this involved. So, I mean, just as potential members of this committee, just let you know that. And I didn't know if, like, having seen one of these, now you're like, yeah.
Yeah,
We have fun.
they almost never bog down like this. I mean, this one's extensive. This is the biggest one I think I've seen other than Whole Oceans.
So, yeah.
But it's good. We took our time. It was a big
Yeah.
project, so good questions. And
Is there any more discussion?
And we had ADD going on.
all right.
No, discussion is Michael.
No, I'm good.
Gonna be back for the next meeting?
Nope.
This was Mike's last meeting. Thank you for
Gonna
everything.
miss you, buddy.
Aw.
Your knowledge, your knowledge will be missed. my friend.
Miss you guys too.
Congratulations though, because you got
Thanks.
some pretty exciting things happening
Yeah.
for you.
Building a house, going to EMT school.
Good retirement, Greg, huh?
It's great.
Yeah.
I have a card in my wallet that's, I can't repeat it in public, but I can do whatever I want.
I had one of those.
Okay, on
Now,
that note, is there a motion?
on that note, item 10, adjournment.
I'll make a motion.
A motion has been
Second.
made to adjourn. Anyone care to second that?
I
Sure.
did.
I got a third.
Second it.
Third.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting
Adjourned.
adjourned.
Yay.